morning, students. Today is Monday, October 29.
Welcome to Harbor Highlights. I'm Travis.
And I'm Summer. Can you believe this is the last week in October?
Coming up on today's show, we have a special folktale for you to get in the Halloween spirit. We also have a video from Mr. Becker's homeroom to teach you about our school-wide expectations.
But first, we have an interview with someone new in our building.
Actually, he's been around for quite a few weeks. You may have seen him at lunch or in the halls.
His name is Mr. Enzer, and he is helping Miss Vanderkalk with school security. Here's an interview to tell you more. Let's watch.
Have you seen a new face in Harbor Lights? I'm Alec, here with our new security guard. Could you please introduce yourself?
I am Tim Enzer, new security guard at Harbor Lights, and the kids can call me Mr. E.
What jobs have you had before you came to the school?
I worked at the Holland Sentinel for 5 years as a manager in circulation. I've done music, traveled around the country, and I work in physical fitness as a certified trainer.
What do you like about our school so far?
I really like the school. I like the students, and I like the setup. Everyone here is very nice. I like my colleagues that I work with, and I just like being here.
What do you recommend students do to make your job easier?
The best thing that the kids can do is just slow down in the hallways and listen when a teacher or one of us security has something to say. And if ever a situation occurs, just stay calm and listen to what we have to say.
What else would you like to share with the kids here?
I'd just like to share with them that I'm glad to be here, and I look forward to getting to know them, and hopefully we can develop some good relationships, and that I'm always here. If there's anything they need, they can always come to me.
Thanks for letting us interview you, Tim.
You're welcome.
Good luck this year.
Thanks.
So if you see Mr. E in the hall, make sure you say hi.
Now, let's send it over to Olivia and Maddie for our next special report.
Thanks, I'm Olivia.
And I'm Maddie. Do you know what our school-wide expectations are?
Say them out loud in your homeroom right now.
We are waiting. Did you say them?
Teachers, did they know them? You should zero in every area of our school and in your classes. We want you to be respectful, responsible, and put forth quality effort.
These expectations will help you give your personal best by showing respect to others. In our school, it will create a safe environment for learning and working together.
Many homerooms have already started to plan out a short commercial or video to show our student body what it means to show respect, be responsible, and put forth quality effort.
That will be great to see each home promote these expectations. Try to be fun and creative.
For our first homeroom video, we have Mr. Becker from the S team, 8th grade. Let's watch.
You may begin your writing assignments.
Done.
Done.
I was already done. Done.
I like this. I'm done.
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 Whoa! 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 Where's the quality effort?
I always make sure to take time to read and understand the prompts.
I always make sure I know who my audience is.
I brainstorm ideas before I write.
You have to organize your thoughts.
I always remember the 6 writing traits.
I always read the FCAs.
I read what I wrote to make sure it made sense.
We always proofread for punctuation
Spelling.
and capitalization.
And grammar.
How do you like that, Dr. Olivia?
Man, this quality effort is killing me.
Yeah!
Thanks, Mr. Becker's homeroom, for showing us what it means to put forth quality effort in a writing assignment.
The teachers will be pleased to see you using your pre-writing strategies to plan your writings for the meet.
But how many of you read what you wrote, making corrections and punctuations, capitalizations, word choice, or sentence structure?
I know many of you were glad to be done writing, but by putting in a little more quality effort could take you a long way.
We hope that you all practice quality effort in your writing. We look forward to seeing more homeroom videos soon.
We have quite a few important announcements for this week, so let's now send it over to Austin and Wyatt. Hi, guys.
Thanks, I'm Austin.
And I'm Wyatt. Here are this week's general announcements.
Today the lunch special is pizza dippers with sauce, green, and yellow bean medley fresh fruit. Tuesday will be Chicken Tender Tuesday, tater tots, Malibu blend veggies, and on Wednesday we will have roasted chicken legs, whipped potatoes, seasoned green beans.
Thursday is the Southwest Bull Garden Salad Roll. Finally, for Friday, there will be no school. Enjoy your lunch at home.
Thanks to the 8th graders who came to our first FCA meeting at lunch. We will be meeting about twice a month, so stay tuned to the future dates.
Students, make sure to thank your parents for the great turnout during conferences, and we think that everyone can be flexible in rescheduling due to weather conditions.
Hopefully your parents picked up information about the Infinite Campus Parent Portal. This allows your parents to check the progress in your classes from any online computer.
If your parents are interested and did not pick up a form to sign in, they are available in the front office or online at westottawa.net.
We are glad that many of you are making use of our library. There are great books and magazines, but currently there are many overdue books.
If you are done with a book, make sure you return it in promptly, or you still need it, you can renew it.
Help our librarians keep track of all their materials so they can best help all the students.
Speaking of books, BBYA Best Books for Young Adults has been meeting for a few weeks now, but it's not too late if you would like to join or try it out.
If you enjoy reading and would like to help rate the best books for readers like you, come to BBYA today from 3 to 4 in the Harbor Lights Library.
Like we said during lunch specials, there is no school this Friday, so enjoy your long weekend.
The Writer Workshop Club with Miss Harrington is also today, Monday after school. This is available for all grades 6 through 8 who enjoy writing.
We are already well into cold and flu season. There are lots of bugs going around, so make sure you're washing your hands frequently.
Before eating lunch is an especially good time to wash your hands and get rid of the germs that your hands may have picked up. We want to try to stay as healthy as possible in this upcoming winter season.
That concludes this week's general announcements. Now back to the anchors.
Thanks, Wyatt and Austin.
Summer, are you trying out for any season sports?
I think I might, if you're considering it up too. And listen up. Here are John, Michael, and Andrew with this week's sports. Hi, guys.
Thanks. I'm John Michael.
And I'm Andrew. The fall season of sports is now officially over, and we are headed into a new season.
Congratulations to all our teams, and special thanks to the coaches.
The 7th grade soccer team ended up with 3 wins, 6 losses, and 1 tie, while the 8th grade soccer team had an outstanding record of 10-1.
Congratulations to the girls basketball team for a great season.
The girls tennis team also completed a fabulous season with 10-1.
Nice work to the boys and girls cross-country team for an outstanding season.
7th grade football would like to recognize Pete, Nick, Dan, Josh, and Austin, and all the team members for your outstanding performances on this year's season. 8th grade football team ended with a great record, including 4 wins, 1 loss, and 1 tie.
7th grade boys basketball tryouts start last Friday, continuing this week. 8th grade boys basketball starts today.
Girls swimming and diving team and competitive cheer will begin tomorrow.
Good luck to our students during tryouts and their beginning practices. This concludes our sports report. Back to the anchors.
Thanks, Wyatt and Austin. Those of you that are going trick-or-treating, are you getting excited? To get you in the Halloween mood, we have a folktale to share with you.
This folktale was written by Cindy Shangaris. Sit back and enjoy. Let's watch.
Black Bubblegum, a story written by Frances Caffrey and heard told by Cindy Shangaris at the Jonesboro Storytelling Festival. Tommy loved bubblegum. He loved Hubba Bubble Bubblegum, Double Bubble Bubblegum, Cherry Cola Bubblegum, Watermelon Bubblegum, you name it, he chewed it. He loved bubblegum so much that when he got up in the morning before he went down for breakfast, he took bubblegum in his mouth, and he'd go eat breakfast and eat his bacon and eggs and have his bubblegum in the side of his cheek. And at lunch, when he was eating peanut butter and jelly and potato chips and milk, he ate all of that with bubblegum. And at dinner, when his mother gave him mashed potatoes and roast beef and beans with gravy, he'd eat that with bubblegum. He loved bubblegum. Well, you can imagine his favorite time of the year was Halloween. This Halloween was special because Tommy was 12 years old and his mother told him, "Look here, you can go out with your friends. I don't have to trail along with you this year." And he was delighted. Well, Halloween evening came, and it was cool and crisp like it is in October, and the moon was full. And he grabbed his great big old sack, and he went on out with his old buddies, and they trick-or-treated up and down every single house in their little area of town. And then they came to the one house where they'd never trick-or-treated before. And they stood at the bottom of that long sidewalk that led up to that house, and Tommy said, "Come on, guys, let's go up to that house." And his friends said, "No, no way." You see, that house in the daytime looked kind of slanted, and if you looked at it, the windows were always dark and staring out at you like two eyes. People in that town told stories about that house, but Tommy knew that his best friend delivered newspapers there and that the newspaper disappeared every day, so he knew that someone was living up there. He said, "Come on, guys, come on up there with me. It'll be great fun. It's Halloween." They said, "No way, not me. You want to go? Go there by yourself." Tommy said, "Chicken, chicken, I am going up there." And so he went up that long, winding sidewalk to the house. Now, when he got to the porch, every single step squeaked as he walked up to the door, and he knocked on the door. Well, he heard a shuffling noise inside, and the doorknob turned, and the door opened. Squeak! "What do you want?" Why, the scariest guy Tommy had ever seen stood there. He had a long, pointy nose, dark, beady eyes, bushy eyebrows, and a mouth that hadn't smiled a day in its life. "What do you want?" Tommy said. Trick or treat." "What do you mean, trick or treat?" "Well, you know, it's Halloween, and you treat me or I'll trick you. That's the way Halloween goes." "Well, we'll see about that." Then the man shuffled back on into that old house, and he came back, and he was carrying a long, thin, black object that was white in the middle, and he dropped it into Tommy's bag, and before Tommy could say thank you, bam, the door shut. Tommy ran back down to his friends, and he said, "Guys, I've got something up there. It looks like bubble gum. You guys ought to go on up." But they wouldn't go. So they all went back to their houses, and Tommy went on to his living room. Now, I don't know what you guys do with your Halloween candy, but Tommy liked to sit down in the middle of the floor and dump it out in front of him in a great big old pile, and then he divided it up. He'd put a pile of hard candy here, a little chocolate candy there, and then he made a little pile of the stuff he hated. He was going to take that to school and trade it off. Then there was a great big pile of bubble gum, and right on top was a black long piece, and it had a white skeleton on it. He picked it up and sniffed it. Ah, it smelled wonderful. Oh, it was great. So he unwrapped it quickly and he looked at it. It was black on the inside with a white skeleton on it, and he thought, well, he'd just take one little taste. So he put one little taste in his mouth, but the minute it touched his tongue, it was so good that he just stuck the whole thing in his mouth. Tommy was in bubblegum heaven. This was the best gum he'd ever had in his whole life. And the strange thing about the gum was that the longer he chewed it, the sweeter it tasted. Well, after he'd been chewing it for a whole hour, it tasted even better than when he first put it in his mouth. And another strange thing about the gum, when he blew bubbles, they weren't those little things. They got great big. Bigger than his head. And when they popped all over his hair and eyebrows, well, the gum just peeled right off and went back in. It didn't stick to anything. Well, it came time for Tommy to go to bed, and his mama said, "Get on upstairs, get rid of that gum and go on to bed." But he didn't want to get rid of the gum, so he popped it out of his mouth, put it on the bedpost, went in and brushed his teeth, and he went straight to bed, slept like that. Man, he was exhausted from Halloween. But he wasn't sleeping long before he sat up in bed. That gum was back in his mouth. He didn't know how it had got there. He looked on his bedpost, and it wasn't there. He was starting to feel kind of strange, so he reached inside his mouth, and he pulled that gum out, but it was kind of hard to catch. It seemed to have wrapped itself around one of his molars. He got hold of it, and he pulled, and he looked at it. It just looked like a wad of black gum. So he went over to the trash can and threw it in and went back to bed and went to sleep. But he wasn't sleeping long before he sat up in bed again. He was scared. He reached in his mouth to get the gum out, and it was tight to get it out. He got a hand on it and pulled it out. It just looked like a wad of black gum, so he threw it in the trash can again, and he left the light on and sat on the edge of his bed to wait. It got really quiet. The gum began moving in the trash can. It moved up the side of the trash can and down the side of the trash can. It wiggled across the floor and up his foot and up his leg and up his belly, and when it got to his chest, he grabbed it and he said, "Oh, it's alive!" And he opened the window and threw that gum out as hard as he could and slammed the window shut and locked it. He went to his door and slammed it shut and locked it. And then he saw there was a crack under the door, so he grabbed his dirty socks and his dirty underwear and he stuffed it into that crack. Whew. Then he went right back to bed and slept until morning. When he got up, he wasn't going to tell anybody about the gum. He went down to breakfast without putting any gum in his mouth, and he was eating bacon and eggs when his mama said, "Tommy, I told you over and over again about throwing your gum in the trash can, and that gum you were chewing last night is over there by the back door." Tommy said, "Mama, I didn't do it." She said, "Tommy, gum does not walk by itself. You pick that gum up and throw it in the trash can." Well, he ran over, picked up the gum, ran outside, and threw it toward the woods just as hard as he could, went back in, picked up his school books, and went off to school. You've never seen Tommy so glad to get to school. But when he got home that afternoon and opened the back door, there in the middle of the kitchen table sat that black bubble gum. When it saw Tommy, it blew a great big bubble as if to say, "I love you." Tommy said, "Mama, get in here. There's something strange going on." Well, his mama came into the kitchen. Tommy sat down at the end of the kitchen table, and the gum began crawling over to Tommy as fast as gum could crawl. His mama said, "Tommy, there is something strange about that gum. Maybe it can get up and walk across the floor." She grabbed a ball jar, clamped it down over the gum, and then slipped a piece of cardboard underneath, turned it over, whacked until the gum fell to the bottom. Then she threw the cardboard away and screwed the lid on tight. She set the jar in the middle of the kitchen table, and the rest of the afternoon the gum crawled up and down the side of the jar, wiggling at the lid, trying to squeeze out between the glass and the metal. All afternoon it just jiggled that lid until Tommy's dad got home that night. The gum was still sitting up at the top of the jar, jiggling. His dad said, "We're going to have to do something about it." So his dad and Mom went to the shed to get a shovel, and Tommy carried the jar with the gum in it. They went out way behind his house and dug a hole 6 feet deep. Tommy put the gum in the bottom of that hole, and then they took turns bearing it over. He stamped the dirt with his feet. Now, I don't know if Tommy had any more trouble with that black bubble gum with the white skeleton on it, but if you ever get gum like that on Halloween, watch out, because
it is alive!
We hope that those of you who are going trick-or-treating watch out for any black bubblegum.
As always, make sure you practice safe trick-or-treating. Go with a group, and most houses are done with trick-or-treating by 8:30, so make sure you are back inside.
Have fun, but be polite and respectful. Remember, they are giving you candy, so say thanks.
Thanks for watching our show today. Don't forget to check us out on Channel 21 at 11 and at 5 p.m. We have a great week.
This is First Hour's class of Video Productions. Have a great week.
Bye!
So we go.